Now for this video, I am going to mainly be focusing on the visual aspect of the Minecraft movie, as the trailer was released about a day ago as the recording of this audio. I will not be going over the lore or the possible plot of the movie or analyzing the trailer or any of that, no. I'm going to be mainly focusing on the visuals, and my oh my, there is a lot to focus when it comes to the visuals. First, let's start off with the good. The terrain. I will admit the terrain does look very nice and pleasing. It looks kind of like a high-res version of shaders. But that's all where my compliments end. The terrain is the really only good part when it comes to the trailer. Everything else kinda sucks. First, the sheep. They did my boy dirty. They absolutely butchered my boy. They gave him the Sonic treatment. They gave the, "Mom, can we have Minecraft?" "No, we have Minecraft at home." And this is what's at home. An absolute abomination that should be killed and shot on sight. I mean, look at it. Look at it in its sad, pathetic little eyes. It wants to be shot. It wants to be put down. They make it look so dumb. And I know in-game, all the peaceful mobs have kind of a cross-eyed look. Both of their eyes look separate ways. And in-game, this looks fine. I don't mind it. It looks kind of funny and a little goofy sometimes, but it adds to the Minecraft aesthetic. But in this, they just make it look like it's in misery. It's in pain. And then on the complete opposite side of the scale, we have the llama. And man, the llama just looks so dumb. And while yes, it may not be asking to be shot and put down, I personally want to put this thing down. I want to put it down on the ground and make sure no one has to look at its dumb looking face ever again. Like, look at this expression right now it's giving. It just looks so goofy. I just want to punch it in the face so much. And then we have the wolf, and while yes, the wolf isn't really shown all that much in the trailer, from what we can see, it looks okay, I guess. I mean, they're probably going to butcher it just as much as the sheep and llama, but at least here, on this shot, it doesn't look that bad. But then again, this is kind of like saying an ugly person putting a bag over their head. While yes, the world doesn't have to see your ugly face, it's not that much of a huge improvement. Next, we have the creeper. Now, the creeper is okay-ish, I guess. The only real oddity I can see with the creeper is they kind of look like they have fur on them. And I don't know about you, but to me, I never really thought of the creeper having fur. I mean, I don't know what texture it would have on its skin, but it certainly wouldn't be fur. But overall, with the creeper, it looks alright, I guess. I mean, I don't really know if you could have butchered a creeper, because there's not really much to go off of. But other than the fur, it looks alright, I guess. I mean, it's not the ugliest thing in the trailer. I mean, I still fucking hate the creeper, don't get me wrong, as it always blows up my chest and makes me always have to redo everything, but it's alright. Next up, we have the ghast. Now, the ghast, it's kind of iffy for me. Part of me is like saying, well, it's not that bad compared to the llama or the sheep or the other godforsaken thing we'll come into in a minute, but then again, they could have done better. I do kind of like how in this shot here in the trailer, it makes it look like it's in pain all the time. I mean, in the game, it does kind of look like it's in pain constantly all the time as well. But then again, it's also being enslaved by those disgusting things that we'll come into in a second. All in all, the ghast and the creeper kind of look fine to me, I guess. Like I said, they're not the ugliest thing in the world, but I would prefer not staring at it 24/7. But let me tell you something I would not want to stare at even for a second. These things, these abominations, these things that are probably going to be the main antagonists in the film just look terrible, to say the least. Now, I will admit, I kind of do hate piglins already in-game, as they kind of just mess me up all the time when I'm raiding bastions, and the moment I hear that noise, I knew I'm not going to have a good time. And not the good kind either. But the moment when I saw these things in the trailer, I knew, man oh man, I do not like them at all. I mean, I will admit, visually on like a texture scale, it looks pretty nice. You know, you can see the leatherness in their skin and as well as the corrosive armor on them, and it does look nice, you know, I will admit. But together, they just look like an abomination. I want to extinguish every single one of these things, and they probably are going to do that in the movie. And here's another thing to add when it comes to the piglins. Before, I didn't really mention it all that too much when describing the other past mobs, but for the piglins, it's much more noticeable. Now, I know they want to keep the Minecraft aesthetic. They want to keep the blocks, since it's, blocks is part of Minecraft. It's Minecraft's identity. But they kind of seem forced. They kind of seem like they really want to force blocks into the piglins, and it makes them look much more worse than it already is. I mean, look at this. The head of the piglins are blocky, and so are the legs. But the torso, not so much. Yeah, a little bit, but not really. And so are the arms, too. They kind of are selective of what body parts are blocky and what are not. And the parts that are just makes it look so forced and so unappealing to look at. One concern I do have when it comes to this movie that many people have not really noticed is what other mobs are they going to show in the movie? Are they going to show the mushrooms? Are they going to show the frogs? Are they going to show the cats? What are they going to look like? And if they do, how are they going to ruin them even more like they ruined the sheep? But me personally, I'm curious of how villagers are going to look like. I mean, there's a village in the trailer, so there's got to be villagers. And you can't say Steve have made them because, I mean, these are the actual structures that are pre-generated in the game. So, what are they going to look like? And one final note. I'm also curious of what they're going to make the Allay look like. And you may be asking why, and that's because the Allay is actually my favorite mob in all of Minecraft. Fight me!